Well, today we call it two famous characters from a famous work that made harsh criticism of the technological development of the time in which the story goes. To tell the history of creator, the old-seasoned knife and his faithful squire are they Don Quixote de la Mancha and Sancho Panza. Welcome!
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here today.
Hey, alright?
Well, we are going to talk about the bibliography of Miguel de Cervantes and other things about his history.
Exactly.
Roll the vignette. So, that was a little of the history of Miguel de Cervantes.
Certainly, well, Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra was born on September 29, 1547, in the city of Alcalá de Henares, Spain.
He began writing in 69, but became a soldier in 70 in a Spanish military unit in Italy.
And in that, didn't get injured.
He did, in a naval battle in Greece against the Ottoman Turks.
And as if such misfortune was not enough, he was still made prisoner of the Turks for 5 years, from 1575 to 1580.
My God, what a disgrace! But tell me, what was his life like?
He lived precariously, had to move several times to search for better living conditions and better professional conditions.
And that did not stop him from reading, practicing writing, and other skills?
Not at all. By the way, he was already an avid reader since he was a child.
And he was educated at home and by Jesuit priests. That is, he received no formal education.
What an interesting story. Now I would like to know a little more about his life as a writer.
Right. His first work was released in 1569, which were poems for the memorial in honor of Elizabeth de Valois, married to King Philip II.
But then, he had to go to the battlefield, where he injured the hand, the chest, and also the bad financial situation of his family, since when he was captured and made a slave, he had to pay 500 pieces of gold for his freedom, which led the family to bankruptcy.
But he did not try run away or something?
It was not for the lack of attempts, but he never succeeded in any of them.
And how was he captured?
It was in Algeria, ironically while he tried to escape back to Spain with his brother, Rodrigo.
But in the midst of so much misfortune, 4 years after his return to Spain, he married with Catalina de Salazar Palacios.
Thank goodness, there was something good in the middle of his life. Now that I've noticed that we have straight from the mind subject here. That was his life as a writer.
Right. His first work was the novel La Galatea, published in 1589, considered a pastoral novel.
But it did not succeed.
And the later was adapted by himself to the theater,
which was also unsuccessful, causing him and his family to remain in misery.
That good news from before suddenly disappeared around here.
And as if that were not enough, he worked as commissary of provisions of the Invincible Army,
also known as collector of grain supplies for rural communities.
Exactly, and was even arrested twice on charges of mismanagement and embezzlement of public service. And in later times he died from cirrhosis and saging in his shoulder blades due to arthritis.
A minute of a silence from the dead. And where was he buried?
Under the ground?
Please, Sancho Panza, be a little more respectful. He was buried in Convent of the Barrio de las Letras in Madrid. But during the rebuilding of the place in 1673, his and his wife's tomb were lost.
Well, now why do you not tell us a little about the work that originated you?
He began to write this masterpiece in 1580.
Also known as the ingenious Fidalgo Don Quixote de la Mancha, which was his most famous work and today known as a classic of literature. It's also worth noting that it may be considered the first bestseller in the modern history, and is the second most translated book in the world.
Who portrays an old man who wants to relive adventures and fantasies of night stories, with his Don Quixote here, and of a peasant who is convinced to participate in these adventures as a squire, which is me.
And that's the satire, the novels of Shirley, and ends the fight with a fearsome giant.
There was a windmill.
And with me regaining the sense.
And when were these works released?
The first part in 1605 and the second in 1615.
How many works of our genre he wrote, together with Don Quixote?
Between 1585 and 1617, he wrote 17 books, 11 plays,
and 4 poems.
So, that's all for today's interview. I that you heartily found a present here program tonight, and I sincerely hope to meet you again some other time.
Well, you can find us at any time when you open our book.
This is true. Is there anything you want to say to finalize the program?
Once Miguel de Cervantes said a very beautiful phrase that should be heard by all people. Humility is the base and the foundation of all virtues, and without it is not that is.
What a profound phrase. With that, we end today's program. A big help to everyone.